The Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness.
Don't you forget about them. The Brat Pack reunited, so today we're asking why they hated the Brat Pack label.
I hated the Brat Pack for decades.
What a disaster.
What went wrong? And how is being so loved and adored a blessing and a curse? Stick around till the end where we reveal how Andrew changed the Brat Pack's narrative.
So what are you filming?
Oh, we're just doing this documentary.
What's it about?
Ancient history.
It all started with the leader of the pack, Emilio Estevez. He was in his early 20s, a rising star with talent and ambition like no other. Estevez was already secure in his work. You see, his dad was a big star too. The young stud took the fame of St. Elmo's fire in stride, and that's why a young journalist from New York Magazine interviewed him. The piece written by David Bloom changed focus. Instead of writing about a hot young actor, David included Emilio's lively friends that he made on the movie set, namely Judd Nelson and Rob Lowe. And so the Brat Pack was born.
I just remember seeing that cover and thinking, oh.
Want to know how the press painted them out in the 80s? This is the Hollywood Brat Pack. It is to the 1980s what the Rat Pack was to the 1960s. A roving band of famous young stars on the prowl for parties, women, and a good time. That was the New York Mag. By the way, they're the ones who took this idea and ran with it. Later, the magazine added more talented stars to the Brat Pack list, including Timothy Hutton and Tom Cruise. It stopped being about three friends and started being about a group of successful, good-looking actors who, in many cases, never even hung out with each other. They even bunched some actresses into the group, like Molly Ringwald, Demi Moore, and Ali Sheedy. Interestingly, these young stars had no idea what the Brat Pack was.
You know, we did a couple movies together, but I didn't really hang out with a lot of those people just because I was younger at the time. I mean, when I did Breakfast Club, I was 15, 16 years old, and they were already in their 20s.
They're all much older now?
And most importantly, they hated being part of it.
We hated the Brat Pack when it first came out, the label. We hated it.
The young talents noticed something. There was an energy shift after that article. All of a sudden, they weren't young professionals anymore. They were bratty, rich actors. Time and time again, members of the Brat Pack talked about fighting off typecasts, not getting good roles, and those kinds of things. But it wasn't just that. Your work suffers when your personal life does. And this is what happened to some of those young stars, all because of the limelight shoved onto them. Do you remember back in 2012, there was breaking news about Demi Moore and her blow addiction?
I was there in the other room with 911, panicking.
I need an ambulance here as soon as possible, please.
Demi's habit started when she was in her early 20s. She confessed she first used coke to deal with the sudden fame and popularity that she got from being in the Brat Pack. Oh yeah, and there was also everything that went down with her ex-fiancé, Emilio. Who could forget all that? Moore and Estevez met on the St. Elmo's fire set in 1985. After dating for like 5 months, they got engaged.
This lovely young lady with me is Demi Moore, and she is my Valentine.
Everyone who was a fan of the Brat Pack was smitten with this couple. They just looked so perfectly happy, but that was short-lived. We'll jog your memory. After she sent out their wedding invites, Moore found out that Estevez was cheating on her. And that wasn't the first time. Emilio had this on-again, off-again thing with a high school girlfriend. They have 2 kids together, BT dubs. According to Demi's side of the story, he'd slept with a girlfriend, lied about it, and then been forced to tell me the truth when he found out she was pregnant. Yikes. Emilio might have been one of the few brats to avoid substance misuse, but he had other vices. Speaking of, let's talk about the man who gave us the Bratz documentary, Andrew McCarthy. He's been the most vocal about how life-changing being part of the pack was. Andrew also had a long and difficult battle with alcohol. It only got worse as his fame skyrocketed with the Brat Pack. By the early 90s, the actor had started a detox program. He hasn't gone back to alcohol since.
There was no pretending that it didn't run my life. And so it was, ultimately such a relief to just give up the ghost,
Like the other brats, McCarthy wasn't too happy with the label. Did you know every member of the OG Brat Pack took a break from acting in movies? Yeah, McCarthy too. He traveled and became an award-winning journalist. In all those years traveling, reflecting, and learning, he realized something. All of a sudden, Andrew stopped despising the Brat Pack. He saw it in a new light, a better one. Movies like The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, and Taps evolved to become timeless coming-of-age films that still pull on heartstrings today. Since the 90s, fans have been approaching Andrew, Demi, Emilio, and the rest of the pack to share how much they love the movies and how they helped someone through their teen years. This reflection was important. Although the members of the Brat Pack were destined for ill-fated seasons of doubt and uncertainty, their label was also a blessing. It took them a few years to figure out their paths, but in the end, every brat managed to create full and meaningful lives and decorated and successful careers. They've inspired so many people. Emilio decided to go behind the camera as a director and producer. If we're being honest, his dad was already famous and Emilio had been directing since his 20s. The fact that he stayed clear of booze and drug problems meant Emilio's career was bound to be great. Thanks to her roles in films like Ghost, About Last Night, and The Seventh Sign, Demi became one of the highest-paid actresses of the 90s. After several hit films and accolade nominations, the brunette took a break to focus on her daughters. When she came back to Hollywood, it was with a bang. Like her ex-fiancé, Demi also added producer to her list of achievements. The Brat Pack was something those young actors and actresses never wanted, and it haunted them. But it also gave them a reason to be who they are today. In case you missed it, Bratz airs on Hulu from June 17th. That's it for today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be well and be kind.